What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. I just want to focus in on the 2015-2016 Minnesota Wild season preview as the Wild look to continue their streak of going to the playoffs. I mean, last year, after they made the Dubnyk trade, and I'd say from Christmas onward, they're one of the best teams in the NHL, and definitely want to keep that going and build on that. I look at, the way they were able to infuse a little more youth into the roster this year and sign him Mike Riley. I mean, it was a slam dunk signing. He didn't want to sign with the Jackets. His father's a minority owner of the team. He grew up and played high school hockey in Minnesota, played for the Gophers. It's like, all right, you got a kid that you should have gotten. Shouldn't have taken too much to convince him to go there. So, I think that's going to be something that I think he'll help them out. I'm not. I don't know how much he'll play right away in the show, but I think he'll be up. And, I think having that youthful enthusiasm out there and having those young legs on defense, they have a very good young blue line. I mean, you look at Jonas Brodin and Matt Dumba, even, Christian Folin to a certain degree. A lot of these guys are young and talented and, can really help spell some of the veterans, whether it's a Ryan Suter or whoever. In terms of my thing is, has always been since Suter's been in Minnesota, they got to watch his minutes. Having him play 30 minutes a game in October and November takes him away in the playoff. Takes away how effective he can play in the playoffs. Because you try playing upwards of 25 to 30 minutes a night against the best players in the league, 82 games a year. By the time the playoffs roll around and the intensity gets ratcheted up that much more, it's a tough draw for him. But I mean, again, I think he's obviously a hell of a player, and he's a gamer, but it's a guy that's going to turn 31 this season, a lot of miles on him, and I think having a guy like Riley, coupled with Brodin and Dumba, that can definitely spell him and make sure his legs are freshest when you need him most, because when he's at his best, he's one of the best defensemen in the game. Beyond the blue line, goaltending situation, Devin Dubnyk and Darcy Kemper, I like that. They re-signed Dubnyk. I thought it was a fair deal. I hated I hated when they made the trade. I thought it was kind of shooting a BB gun at a freight train, to quote Billy Bob Thornton in Armageddon, putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound to quote Taylor Swift. But hey, he came on strong and played the best hockey of his career in Minnesota. And do I think he'll keep that up? Unlikely. But I'd rather, if I'm Minnesota, I'd rather have him than not have him. If you know what I mean. It's easier that way. And what you're getting from him night in, night out. He's going to battle. He's got some size, and he's shown that he can play down the stretch for this team. Not on play, but play very, very well. Very, very talented forward core in Minnesota, highlighted, of course, by U.S. Olympian Zach Parise. Mikko Koivu was a hell of a player. Vanek struggled mightily last year. We'll get to Vanek in a second. He's a guy that's going to be the butt of some criticism, but I think the straw stirs the drink in this, and this is where being a businessman comes in. It's Charlie Coyle. Power play with CJ, power play inside his own. Charlie Coyle. I think his versatility, his size, everyone's saying he's going to have a breakout season. I think he's going to play his game, and if the offense is there, great. But I think you look at his physical prowess, his ability to play very well down low, particularly below the hash marks, establish position in front of the net, and then, also be able to, you saw that goal he scored against St. Louis in the playoffs. You can shoot from, the perimeter, to borrow some NBA terms. I was hanging out with Mike Brown, the old Cleveland Cavaliers and Lakers coach the other night, so drinking beer, talking hoops, so terminology is kind of, drinking vodka, I should say, and talking hoops. But, back to the principal point, he's just as comfortable outside, the high traffic areas with the skill as he is inside. All reports are that he's going to be playing center to open the season. I kind of like it. From the team perspective, I think from an individual perspective, he'd put up more numbers on the wing, but it's about winning games, and I think he best serves the team in that second, third line center role. Because he can be a matchup nightmare for secondary defenses around the league. And in a Western Conference where size is important, having him go up against Ryan Getzlaf or Anzak Kopitar, Taves, Joe Thornton, whoever, having that big center is key. So now that I've talked about our own guy, again, there's just a lot of skill in this forward group. I love Michael Granlund as a player. I think Nino Niederreiter has been a breath of fresh air for the organization. I think that trade has really worked out well for both parties. Getting him out of the island, getting him off the island, and allowing him to play in Minnesota and really step up and be a big time part of the team. I think it's been great. Vanek. The guy wanted to be a member of the Minnesota Wild more than I wanted to date Carrie Underwood when I was in high school. Actually, still want to take Carrie Underwood. You know, he wanted to go home, Austrian, but you know, Minnesota for a long time, played for the Gophers, and you know, made his offseason home there. Got what he wanted, and you know, struggled. At times, I thought he was dogging it. I said that many times last year. I'm not afraid to say it. I thought he was half-assing it. Right, wrong, or different, I thought he was half-assing it. I thought he was going through the motions a little too often, and I think that's been a knock on him since I really say since he made the deal from Buffalo to the Islanders. You know, it really rubbed me the wrong way, and you know, as a guy that I was a huge Vanek fan for a long time, and you know, to see him out there not playing the level he's capable of, and sure, could he have been playing through injuries? Absolutely, but it just didn't look like his heart was in it. And you know, I'm not going to sit here and judge someone's heart. I mean, that's stupid, but tell you, eye test, pass it. So, you know, it's one of those things. I think he'll bounce back. You know, if he bounces back and nets 32 to 40 goals, then you know, Minnesota is in the driver's seat, particularly with a lot of question marks in their division. I mean, you look at the Blackhawks and you say to yourself, we don't know what Kane's status is, whatever way. I mean, that's not even making light of that the situation, but it's just a reality. St. Louis retooled, but you know, do they fall flat? You know, and I think Nashville's the best team in that division. Dallas is really good as well. So it's you know, I think it's going to be an uphill battle for them, but I think they'll be in the playoffs. You know, if every player in that team plays over the capabilities, I can see this team going to the Stanley Cup final. I just think, you know, this team on paper versus what this team does and you know, how this team goes out and executes are two different things. And I've run hot and cold with Mike Yeo. I thought he cost him a couple games in the Chicago series in 2014 with poor coaching, but you know, the players all seem to like him. You know, he seems to be a guy that gets the job done. So, you know, to go too hard on him is ridiculous. Would be unfair, but you know, we'll see what happens. I mean, if he, you know, if he's not getting the job done, maybe pull the plug on him. There's some decent coaching options on the market if that's what the team wants to do. Anyway, that's our episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the off season and beyond. Later, guys.